Welcome back to another Yellow Brick Road parent video. We've had some feedback that while you really appreciate the COVID-19 videos, you would also like some videos on things that you face every single day at home, whether or not there's a pandemic. So Kylie and I brainstormed a little bit, we asked around, and the number one topic right now, which after hearing, we decided to take even a little bit further, so we're excited to announce that to you. But the number one topic that we heard that would be really helpful to parents is just how to get your kids to eat. And so today, Kylie Schrader and I are going to talk to you a little bit about healthy eating habits and how to encourage your children to eat at home. So we're just going to start by being really real with you guys. There's kind of two theories around feeding your children. And so the first theory, which is what my parents took on, but that does not mean it was the end all be all, was your kids eat what you eat, so you are not a made to order cook. And so that's what we're going to spend a lot of time, because I think this is kind of a ingrained approach in our society that the kids should eat with family time. It should be a meal. You shouldn't have to make something separate for your children. And a lot of you who have picky eaters know that sometimes that can be challenging. So that's what we're going to address the most today. But there are two theories. So that's one of them. And Kylie, talk about number two.
So the other theory is that you feed your children what they want to eat. With that, there's no fighting, there's no arguments. Your children are eating hot dogs, macaroni and cheese,
chicken nuggets,
but they're eating. And so I know for me as a mom, I kind of bounce between both theories. And honestly, depending on what battle I want to choose that night. Sometimes sometimes I've had a long day and I just want my kids to eat and I don't want it to be an argument. So I do ask them what they want to eat. And sometimes it is macaroni and cheese. And sometimes, though, surprisingly, because we do a little bit of both theories, it is, spaghetti or tacos, which we had the other night. So
nice.
It can be, if you do bounce between both, it doesn't always have to be a fight, but it's a theory that, you are doing a little bit more of a short order cook and, not always as healthy or as nutritious.
As nutritious, right. And it's not always what you're eating.
Right. I certainly don't want to eat chicken nuggets every night.
I do, but that's a different video. So I think that the most important thing that you said there, Kylie, is it's what works for your family and what works for you. And it might be dependent on the day. You might have something planned that your kids it's going to be a battle. And so you do just become a short order cook that night. And I think that's okay. It has to make sense for you. I personally do not know anybody who is like, gosh, my parents made me mac and cheese every night. And now I'm just, on the wrong track in life. Like that just doesn't happen. So make it work for you. One important thing to know is that your kids aren't going to starve if they miss one meal. And I will tell you, they're eating all day long at school, breakfast, 2 snacks, and lunch. And so there's going to be something in all of those that they do like and they will eat. So just first things first, they're not going to starve. They might be a little hangry before bedtime, but overall it'll be okay if they do miss a meal. And to Kylie's point, we don't always want it to be a battle. And so what we want to do is, if you do choose number one, that you're not cooking 2 separate meals for, maybe your kids, maybe one likes chicken nuggets and one likes macaroni and cheese. So theory 2 just doesn't work for you.
Right.
Bradley can't really argue with William about what he wants yet. So we'll see how this goes. But maybe it is that you just want everybody eating the same thing. You want to sit down and eat. You want them to eat what you're eating. It's healthy. It's balanced. And so we're going to talk a little bit about a few ways to help you start to get your kids to eat what you serve, no matter what it is. So we have about 5 tips there. And so I'll let Kylie kind of kick those off.
Yeah. So one thing that you can do with your children is, if you are planning with your kids, know that you're going to have your meals and have something as a backup, as an alternative. So say you do all want to eat as, a family, it's a nice sunny day out, you grill some chicken, but the kids don't want to eat the chicken. Instead of them going to bed and then they're hungry, so you give them cereal or a Pop-Tart or fruit snacks, have an alternative healthy snack that they can have before they go to bed so that they are eating something. So whether it might be, cheese sticks, some apple slices, something like that. So you do have an alternative if they refuse to eat the other food.
And to that point too, one healthy alternative every time. So not everybody's taste buds are the same. So our director Kira was telling us she could have what her parents had, or she could have peanut butter on bread, period. And so that's, you know, if you have one alternative that everybody can have, if it's not their night that they want something, it's not exciting, it's not ice cream, it's and it's pretty simple that you can just throw peanut butter on bread. That's just the one alternative they can have if they actually don't like the food that night. The second one is pre-plan with kids. So this goes back to our routine discussion. So kids, if you let them know, hey, here's our menu for this week. Tonight we're gonna have spaghetti when you get home. Tonight we're gonna have grilled chicken when you get home. Oh, mom just put, you're really good at this. Mom just put something in the crock pot. That is, whether you're using a crock pot, an Instapot, your stove, make sure that kids know what's coming. So, hey, we're gonna have spaghetti tonight. You lay it out there already. It's not like a big surprise when they get home that for some reason they had in their head they were gonna get mac and cheese and now it's spaghetti. So it just goes back to their routine. They know what's coming, it's predictable. Yeah. And then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
The other thing that you can do is sometimes for kids, we all know that kids love their dipping sauces.
Yes.
Make things fun. You know, if you say you are having that baked chicken, you know, put a little thing of barbecue sauce on the side or ketchup or whatever it might be and put it in a fun little, you know, container for them. So it's kind of like a chicken nugget, you know, but a little bit fancier. So just adding little options like that, you know, or do something out of the blue and do, you know, breakfast for dinner or something. That's really creative.
Fun. That's super fun with them. And I think that's the next point too, is make sure that, like you're saying, you know, one reason kids like chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese is it's usually their serving size. Mm-hmm. And so that's the next point, is be mindful of the serving sizes. So children should have 1 tablespoon per year of age per food. And you should have 3 to 4 foods. 2 to 3 is probably fine too. So if William's 3, he should have 3 tablespoons of mac and cheese, 3 tablespoons of chicken, 3 tablespoons of corn. And then it's not this daunting amount. And I think a lot of the reason that we have been traditionally ingrained that kids should be eating what we eat is part of that wastefulness of it. And if you're really only dishing up your child the correct serving size, you as a parent are going to be a little bit less worried about the waste because you're not putting a ton out there that then is going to potentially get thrown away. And that goes to the next part. Just keep reserving it to your child. So what you're going to want to do is every time the child does say they're hungry. So what happens is if they don't want to eat something, they say they're not hungry or they're full. And what you can do is say, okay, why don't you sit and hang out and talk with us for a little bit. And then when you are hungry later, you can have your chicken and broccoli. And again, typically 9 times out of 10 in an hour, they're going to want an applesauce or a Go-Gurt or some chips. And that's when you say, oh, here, I have your supper. Let's heat it back up for you. And that's where you just set that boundary. Oh, this is the supper we're eating tonight. And you keep re-offering it to that child instead of them saying they're not hungry and then later getting a Go-Gurt and you not wanting to have the battle then at 8 o'clock instead of at 6 o'clock. So those are some of the tips to get them eating what you're eating. And I think the last one is really the biggest hit and the best way to get kids to eat what you're eating. And Kylie's going to share that with you.
So the biggest thing that we heard from all of our parents that we talked to is getting your children involved in the process, asking them, you know, to help you cook. My boys are really into this right now, pushing up the chairs up to the counter and watching me, you know, chop things up. William loves to crack eggs right now, so of course he's cracking the eggs, and then we're digging out all of the shells.
All the shells.
But getting them involved in the process of cooking and seeing how it works and talking about it, and it's a great educational process through talking about where our food comes from, measurements, all that math, helping that, you know, letting them pour things into the bowl, helping stir things, but really getting them involved in that process. And then they're really excited to eat that food because they feel really prideful because they did it.
They made
it and they were part of it. And so that can be really fun. And so with that, we are really excited to announce that we are going to be starting a YBR Cooking with Your Kids show. And our director out at Maple Grove, Megan, is going to be hosting this. She's a phenomenal cook.
Megan's always cooking and baking goodies that we're all eating and the kids want to eat too.
Yes, so we're really excited about this. We'll have some guest hosts. Some of us will pop on do this with our children as well. And we want you guys to share in it too. So share pictures and videos of you guys cooking with your children as well, and some of your favorite recipes. And we're really excited to kick off this program.
Yeah, we think that we're really going to be able to roll with it, get everybody involved at home, and then hopefully this will help combat some of those picky eaters that you may have around your dinner table. So stay tuned. We'll have it on our YouTube channel. We'll have it on our Facebook Lives, and we'll just let you know how to find the recipes and to watch the videos of Megan. So as always, thanks for joining us. We hope this is helpful to you. And remember, it's what works best for you. And sometimes that depends on the day or the hour. So we'll see you next time.